Hi, I'm Veronica Decker, and welcome to Beauty and Fashion Talks here on Arise News. Join me as we chat about the latest in fashion news and beauty. Be sure to keep up with us as we stay on top of trends and key players in the industry within Africa and around the world. Two accessories every girl needs in her closet are a handbag and a lovely pair of everyday footwear. Today, I'll be hosting two ladies who are making handcrafted versions of these accessories. First, I'll be speaking with Kene Rapu, CEO of Kene Rapu, a footwear brand named after her. And then Zainab Ashadu, creative director of Ashadu, a handcrafted leather company, will also be joining me on the show. But before then, I'll be dishing on fashion and beauty news from around the world. Don't go anywhere because Fashion and Beauty Talks will be right back. The theme Heavenly Bodies for the Met was divine, and oh yes, that was true. The embodied fashionable definitely delivered. So many celebrities actually nailed it from hair, outfits, accessories, and makeup. Because when you get invited to the Met, it's more than just a pretty dress. It's a moment to show up and show out. My favorite eye candy includes Zendaya in Versace, Rihanna in Margiela, Solange in Iris Van Herpen, and J.Lo in Balmain. Finally, what every Fuller Cup-sized lady has been waiting for. Media personality Tolu Oniru-Demirin, also known as Tools, launches her lingerie line Sablier, which is French for hourglass. It is a premium Fuller bust lingerie line created for the Fuller-sized female, which is often overlooked. Launching the new line was a result of her experience growing up as a full-bodied woman who initially faced challenge accepting her body shape and size. With this venture into the fashion industry, Tools hopes to see more acceptance of different shapes and sizes of all women, and more women to be confident embracing their various shapes and sizes. We welcome her into the fashion world and wish her all the best with future sales. Now, we're especially thrilled to hear that British model Ado Aboa recently made a trip to her father's home country of Ghana for the Burberry Autumn-Winter Pre-Collection campaign. She served as creative director, for which the images, which were captured by Jurgen Teller near her ancestral home in Accra, Ghana. It was an emotional trip for her, as she described it as being special for everyone to see where her story began. In her own words, to be in Ghana means coming home. I've been able to bring close friends of mine here, and my grandma and my family have had a taste of what the other part of my life is like. It's time now for a break, but don't touch that dial and don't go anywhere because I'll be speaking with footwear entrepreneur Kene Rapu after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Fashion and Beauty Talks with Veronica Decker. My first guest, Kene Rapu, is the founder and CEO of Kene Rapu, a Nigerian footwear brand established in 2011, championing local production. And today she'll be telling us all about her beautiful footwear displayed here in the studio. Welcome, Kene. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, like I mentioned, you're championing local production, and you have this amazing footwear brand, and you've brought some of your product here to show us. But before we kind of feast our eyes on this eye candy, I want to talk about how this started. Where does the idea of footwear, how is it formulated? Where does that come from?
The idea of footwear, so I'm a trained lawyer. I actually moved back to Nigeria in 2011 to go to law school. I knew I wasn't passionate about law, but I didn't really know. I've always been sort of a creative. I've always loved fashion, but I didn't know what in fashion I wanted to do. I knew I was also quite business-minded, so I didn't really know where to fit myself. So I basically fell into footwear. So I remember I made a pair of slippers for myself, and everyone thought, oh, wow, these are so nice. Where did you get them? And I thought, okay, this is an opportunity. I also found that at the time, there weren't many options for people who had larger feet and wanted to buy cute, comfortable slippers that were made here. At that time, you had to, we had to order online, or when you traveled, you would bring things in. So there was definitely a gap in the market, especially if you had larger feet. Also, at that time, slippers weren't really like a fashion item. It was more something you wore at home, you wore to the market. So it was. I wanted to build a brand that filled all those gaps, so providing footwear that was made here. You didn't have to go abroad to find footwear. Stuff that was cute, that was comfortable, even if you had larger feet. And also stuff that could be a fashion item, a fashion statement. So you're going out in your slippers and you don't feel like these are your bathroom slippers. You felt that I'm wearing something that is cute, that is colorful, that is stylish.
Yeah. So I mean, I really like this. You thought about everything. You covered it. Not only larger size, definitely the ease for which people can order, which helps to keep the cost down when something is, when you're buying something that is locally sourced or locally made. And I think that that speaks to being a proud heritage of Nigeria. And you've been able to solve a problem out of your own problem and still create a need for those of us like myself that have larger feet.
And myself.
And you know, I love the point that you made, you know, because I remember then slippers were something, you wore at home, indoors to just hang out, and then to go to the market. You never really wore it out, or even sandals, much so, out in every day. And you've been able to create this. So how durable are the products that you've actually created? Was that something you thought about when you were making it? Because now if we're going to be wearing it out as a fashion statement as well, we want our slippers or our sandals to last. So how was that?
That was something I definitely thought about, and it's a key thing for me up till today. And I feel like that's why people have also, by God's grace, stuck with our brand because of the durability. I find that a lot of people think, oh, made in Nigeria doesn't last, made in Nigeria can't level up to the stuff that we're importing. And that's why people haven't always had faith in made in Nigeria. So I feel like for me, durability is so important. I want people to see our slippers and, you know that these things last, they're comfortable and they're durable. And we do get that feedback that I bought your slippers 2-3 years ago. I've worn them in rain, in sun, and they have lasted. So it's a really, really big thing for me, especially because we're championing, we're pushing made locally, that it works. And it's not, you know, it's not the sort of, it's not how you envisioned it to be that, oh, these things won't last, or they use materials that are neither here nor there. It's stuff that you can literally wear for years and say this was proudly made in Nigeria, and it works, and it lasts, and it's beautiful, it's stylish, and it's well made.
That's really, I mean, that speaks to a testament of how well and how passionate you are about the brand. So now that you're talking about championing, you know, locally sourced, what has the contribution been to the workforce for yourself as your brand? Like, how many people do you employ on your team as opposed to when you got started, and how has the brand grown from that time to now? And because you seem to be contributing a lot and still championing this local production, this local workforce.
So when we started 7 years ago, we outsourced. So the numbers have to, you know, make sense. So we outsourced, meaning I didn't own the production. I didn't hire the staff. I would pay, you know, I found people who could make my slippers to my specification, and I would pay them as they produce. So that let us keep our overheads very low for 5-6 years. So I opened my own factory last year, at the beginning of last year. Thank you very much.
Hard work is paying off, girl.
Thank you, about time. But you know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Anyway, so in opening my factory last year, we've been able to standardize our production. We've been able to, you can see all the shapes are the same. We're using everything is
so you've been able to manage to keep the production costs down, and now hire a bigger workforce, no longer outsourcing, and keep the quality, retain the durability, all in this space of still switching over and owning your own factory. Has it helped with your, as far as you're keeping up with the trends and creating new items, or are you sticking with what you have, your line?
I think it's definitely, having my own factory has definitely allowed me to be more creative. So I actually have a place where I can go and express my ideas and say, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this color. You know, if this doesn't work, there's, you know, it's more efficient as well. We can fix it now. You know, this wouldn't work, this would work. So it's definitely helped. We're under 10 at the moment. So we're still growing, but the people that I have, they work really hard. I've trained them very well to sort of see my vision and see that we're not just making slippers here. We're doing something that must be an international standard. So every single item that you produce must be the same shape, must be the same, you know, the same filed in the same way, stitched in the same way. So that has really helped us standardize. It's helped our efficiency. It's helped our creativity. So it was really, it's been a great milestone that we've been able to achieve, and we're looking forward to employing even more people. And also, there's so many talented people out there, shoemakers, but they don't have they don't have access to people who can buy their shoes, or they don't have access to good materials. So you may find a shoemaker in Mushin or somewhere, and they're doing a decent job, but they don't have the resources to put into buying the best glue, buying the best machines, buying all those things that would improve their work. So I feel like in coming to us, they also enjoy that they can do their craft
and be part of
in a comfortable place, and be part of something. Be part of something.
I want to talk about, because I did see on the Instagram page, you do, like I said, you have a culture of this movement. I think it's really great that you're infusing not only made in Nigeria, but you're also infusing fabrics that are locally sourced here, like the Ankara fabrics. You've also added men's. Has that been recent, or was that always part of the plan? Because I absolutely love the fact that there's an inclusion, not just segregating for just women alone, but you've actually included. How has that process been?
We've actually always done men's.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe after about 2 years in. But I think it's almost a curse and a blessing. I feel like people, because we have a lot of female customers, so that sort of drowns out the men. And then because we do all our marketing, a lot of our marketing to keep those female customers. So it's almost like a cycle. So how do we get the men? Because we do have men's stuff. Do we keep marketing at the women and they bring the men? Men don't shop as much as women. So we also do make more money from the women. But it's something that we've done. So we're still trying to figure out how do we get these men to shop. But we've always done them. Men love them because they're durable. They're simple. We don't have as many styles for men
but as you do
women.
For women.
So
but you do. I do like the fact that, like I said, that you have included something that feeds to women and to men as well. And I do like the fact that you are championing this whole brand aesthetic and creating a culture that people can definitely identify with. So while we wrap it up quickly, I just want to find out, what are the best popular sellers in your collection?
Okay, I would say the names of our slippers aren't very exotic, but the most popular design would probably be this, the short nod. That was one of the first ones we launched, and it's still a favorite. These are popular as well, leather strap. I mean, the ones I put on the table are quite popular. The leather slides we launched towards the end of last year, and those have picked up a lot. Really well. So people like that they can, if they don't want to print, they can go for another option, and we still do them in bright colors as well as in neutral colors. So we do these in about 7 colors: yellow, so blue, wine, brown, black. So people have options. So yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Kene. I'm so thrilled to have you on the show, and now everybody knows that if they want to have durable, made in Nigeria, locally sourced, and to champion our workforce, they can definitely check you out on Instagram and buy one of your Kene Rapu slippers or sandals. Thank you so much. We're heading for a break. But when we come back, I'll be speaking with Zainab Ashadu about her handcrafted leather bag line, Zashadu. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Fashion and Beauty Talks on Arise. I'm Veronica Odeka. Zainab Ashadu is the creative director of Zashadu, a brand that specializes in handcrafted leather pieces made right here in Lagos. Zainab's passion for handbags started at the age of 8 when she fell in love with a clutch bag belonging to her mother. She has since owned her craft at the London College of Fashion, and she's here with me to tell her story. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you in the studio. So I've heard about there's like a cult movement with your bags, and I've heard about how it's like the it bag that everyone must have, or every it girl, socialite, or every woman who's fashionable must own a Zashadu bag. And at the same time, I feel it's one of those things that you used to identify a young woman as she's coming into society, almost like Tiffany's. It's like, a young girl's first bag should be a Zashadu bag. In Nigeria, where luxury is king, Zainab, how have you been able to position such an amazing brand in this culture? How?
I really can't, I can't tell you it's one way or another. All I know is that I really am very passionate about this. I love leather goods. I've always loved leather goods. For me, it's what stands for quality. Growing up, I hear my mum talk to her friends and it'd be like, "Kakino be leather." There's that phrase. And then there's also at that time, it was like buying Italian leather bags was the top. So I had that in my mind. And then just the idea of, you know, when I was growing up and I was shopping for bags, I used to buy vintage bags because it was what really kind of spoke to me. And I would think, you know, this bag is 30, 40 years old and I'm able to buy it and it still can do a lot for me. And so I think the idea of durability and longevity was cemented in my head. And so I stuck to those two things. And that's kind of where I start from with everything, and I suppose it shows.
Yeah, I really like that. I think it definitely does. Speak to me about how you source your leather, because I can see, you know, the pieces that you have here, there's so many different options. How do you source the leather, and how does it work as far as maintaining the price structure for your products?
So again, I'm always led with, you know, I'm led by my heart when I'm sourcing product. I really go with what I love and fall in love with that. And then from there, I can kind of go further or scale back. But definitely we source locally. We work with tanneries up in the north and we work with resellers down here in Lagos. And I just go for the best, you know, what I deem to be the best in terms of the quality, the durability, and stuff like that.
So the bags are if you say you're sourcing and you're working either locally here or even up at in the north, that means every bag has its unique quality. Or do you get like the stretch of the fabric and you're able to create like 2 or 3 bags, or are there difference based on the hides of the skin?
Sometimes we can do that. Sometimes I look at hides or skins and I think, okay, this will be able to create this amount of bags, and then I decide if I want to do that.
Do more.
You know, because some clients really love that aspect of it, that it's only 1 or only 2 or only 3.
Exactly.
And then sometimes we get lots, and you know, there's some bags that, you know, like some neutral colors and muted colors, you always will, you know, will have that, regardless of the trends or the seasons.
So I want to know what direction does it take, where as far as like you know, I know you said you have a love for vintage, but at the same time you're creating bags, and we are very still keen on what's happening in Europe and in America, wherever. So how much does it feed into trends? How often do they play a role in creating, you know, the structures or the sizes of the bags? Like how does that help with your brand?
I would say that I'm not really led by trends so much, in the sense that it's not like an active thing.
So with you, it's about creating classics.
It's about creating classics. But of course, I'm influenced by things I see around me, and a lot of that are trends. So for example, the mini bags, I was on holiday and I was just sitting watching people walk past, and I noticed that every woman had a little mini bag strapped across her, and I thought, okay, it's a holiday bag. It's the kind of bag you need. So I decided, okay, how can I make that work for me? You know, so I get inspired by things for sure. But in terms of like following trends, or I don't
really allowing that to influence you. Pretty much, I think what you're doing is you're creating your own trend with your own handbag. So is this the mini? Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, this is one of the minis.
This is the mini one, the structure. And then it kind of, I think you have this versatility. It doubles up as almost like an evening bag. So you can take it during the day or the evening bag. And
this is a TKO classic.
So this is one of your classic structured bags.
This is actually the first bag I ever made.
Oh, wow. That's so great. And then what about the clutch right here?
Yeah, this is the box clutch classic.
This is absolutely beautiful.
And they all have straps, so they, you know, you can really use them quite well. And they're all quite spacious, even though they're very boxy or very structured. That's kind of like the trick of the bags.
Okay, and then what's next for the brand? What is next for Ashadu?
What's next for the brand? Right now, I really would love to employ a lot more people than we currently do. And there's a way that we can do that.
How?
We also are building a facility that we can train people and really just expand the brand into other dimensions. So I can't really say too much about it now, but we really want to just really kind of explode the brand in terms of what we can offer people to make them more empowered and to build up the industry in ways that will make it really sustainable for us and for the generations to come.
I love that. And talking about sustainability and also giving back, I noticed that you're recently doing something eco-friendly. Do you want to share with that? Because I find it's quite interesting. It's like leather, but now eco-friendly. So how is that playing a part in your brand structure?
Well, I've always been kind of I've always gravitated towards sustainability, because for me, it just makes sense. Whatever you're doing, it has to be sustainable. And the more I can do, the more I can choose that out of the options presented to me, the more I will.
Yes.
So with the boxes, for example, we just decided to stop using, you know, I didn't even know that they were importing paper, you know, and so when I found out, I thought this is really silly. It doesn't make any sense that the you know, bags and stuff we're using is imported. So I decided to go the other route. What do we have on ground that we can use? And then also the cotton. We work with a cotton weaver up in the north as well. So as soon as I just get more information...
So you're actually using it. So what you're pretty much doing is resourcing and looking inward constantly of how you can improve and still help us. For one last thing, for people that want to purchase a bag for themselves, they want to gift their daughter, they want to gift a friend, where can they go to purchase one of your amazing handbags?
Okay, they can go to our store online, ashadu.com. We also have a store on Norman Williams in Ikoyi.
Okay.
But the best place, I think, is Instagram because it's really the most up-to-date.
Yes.
So you can really see what we have. And then the next best thing, I think, if you can, is to come into the store.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so very much. So you've heard it, everyone. If you want to purchase one of her absolutely amazing bags, all the information is there for where you can purchase it. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing all of this information with us. So that's all from Fashion and Beauty Talks today. Thank you so very much for watching. Till next time, goodbye.